Okay, welcome back. So, in this lecture, after covering dynamic method dispatch, we will now cover abstract methods and classes. This is an important concept in Java. In previous program, when we were doing dynamic method dispatch, you saw one very trivial things. You look at this method. This method is a method that does not have any body, an empty body. Now, when a method does not have any body, then it means that you are kind of indicating a message that this method should not be called. But there is absolutely no way we can stop other objects to call this sound method. But Java provides a way. Java says if you think that your method will never be called and it does not carry any body, then you can declare those methods as abstract methods. An abstract method is a method that does not have any body, and obviously that method cannot be called. So inside animal class, you saw that body for the sound method in animal does not make any sense, because we do not know which animal we are talking about. So obviously we cannot write anything inside body of this method. So it is better to make this method as an abstract method. And as I told you earlier, an abstract method is a method that does not have any body, right? So because it does not have any body, so we can remove its body and just give semicolon. Obviously if you just write this way, it will be an error. So you need to make this method abstract. So you use keyword abstract to turn a method to be an abstract method. Right, now let's see what happens if I compile this program. This will actually lead us to the next concept, which we call abstract classes. I need to go to this path. I copy the path, Control C. Okay, I come back here, CD, Control V. It's on D drive. So now I say Java animal demo underscore dynamic method dispatch. When I compile this program, Java C is not existing, so I need to set path which is equal to my JDK. I have JDK on my C drive. Inside program files, Java JDK bin. So this is the path I need to set. Control C, Control V. Now Java should be working. Java C should also be working. Right. Okay. Now let us try to compile and see what happens with this program. Java C animal demo underscore animal demo underscore DMD. What does it say? Animal is not abstract and does not override abstract method sound in animal class. Okay, it means that if you have a class having at least one abstract method, then that abstract method is needed to be either implemented or that class need to be abstract. Okay, it means I need to make my class abstract. So this is how you will make a class abstract. So now your animal class is abstract. Now your animal class is an abstract class. Right, now it can be compiled without any error. You can see it has been compiled. Right. Obviously this does not have any impact on overall execution. It will still be same as we saw in the previous lecture, right? But the thing is, now there are two very key points that we need to learn from here. Number one, we have an abstract method, a method without body, and if in a class you have got an abstract method, then that class itself has to be abstract. So you can see now we have got animal class, it is declared as an abstract, right? Now this actually leads to another very important point. if you have got a class which is declared as an abstract class, you cannot create object of that class. You can see here, we can declare reference of that class, but we cannot create object of that class. So the abstract classes are the classes for whom we cannot create object, right? Because that does not make sense to create object of an abstract class, because in that class we will have some abstract methods which you cannot call. So that is the reason why Java says if you have got a class which is abstract, you cannot create object of that class, right? So in the previous arrangement, when we just declared animal, we could have created object of that class. But now, because it's abstract class, so abstract class cannot be instantiated. The object of the abstract class cannot be created. You can see this will be an error. Java C. So it says error, animal class is abstract, cannot be instantiated. So you cannot create object of the animal class, right? So this is the second point. The first point is, if you've got an abstract method in a class, you need to make that class as an abstract class. The second point is, if you have got an abstract class, you cannot create object of that class, right? Though you can declare its reference like this. This is not a problem, right? We saw this in the previous execution. You can see here, declaring reference of abstract class is not an issue, but instantiating abstract class is an issue, right? Now point number 3, remember, if there is a class which is going to extend from an abstract class, like cat is extending from animal, and animal is an abstract class. Now if a class is a subclass of an abstract class, then remember, all the methods which are declared abstract in the abstract class, those needed to be implemented, those needed to be overridden by that class. Otherwise that class cannot be instantiated, that class cannot be non-abstract. You can see here in this class I have sound method. I'm overriding sound method from the animal class. So kind of cat is fulfilling the animal requirement. But if I do not implement this method, then it will be an error. So you can see here, now there is a problem that cat is being extended from animal, and animal has got an abstract method which you are not overriding. So if you want to be animal, you need to override all the methods which are declared abstract in the base class. In animal, the sound is abstract method and you are not overriding it. That means cat cannot be instantiated. Cat in this case cannot be compiled. You will see that it will complain, the compiler will complain. What does it say? Cat is not abstract and does not override abstract method sound in animal class. It means that it is responsibility of cat to override the sound method. I mean, see the beauty. In this way, we are actually bounding all the animals to implement the actions that animal can perform. Now, while sitting in the animal class, you say if you want to be animal, then you need to have a sound, right? It means you have to implement this method. You have to override this method. If you are not overriding this method, you are not fulfilling requirement to be an animal, right? So that is the reason why if cat want to be animal, it has to implement the abstract method that animal has declared. So you can see here, now when I override sound and I say cat is an animal, and it is overriding sound and it is saying that this is my sound, now it can be compiled. So you can see here, it is compiled without any problem, right? So let us summarize it. Point number 1, if there is a method which does not need to have a body, then you can declare it abstract, like this one, right? You make this method an abstract, because sound in animal, it has to have empty body, and empty body does not make sense, so you actually declare it as an abstract method, right? Point number 2, if in a class you have got an abstract method, then that class itself have to be abstract. So you can see here, I turned animal to become abstract class. Otherwise, obviously, code cannot compile. So if there is an abstract method inside a class, then that class has to be abstract. Point number 3, if there is an abstract class, its reference can be declared, but its object cannot be created. Right. So we can declare reference of animal, which can store obviously objects of all the classes derived from the animal, but animal itself cannot be instantiated because it is an abstract class. And that makes sense. I mean, why would you instantiate animal? Because if you instantiate animal, it means you are allowing to call sound method, which is abstract method. And why would you call abstract method? Because that is doing nothing. Right. Animal is declaring this abstract method only to let all the classes which are going to derive from animal that you need to have a sound. If you really want to be an animal, you need to have a sound. So they have to override the sound method. Right. Now point number 4, if you have got a class and if that class is going to extend from an abstract class, then it is the responsibility of that class to override all the abstract methods. When I'm saying override, I mean it has to kind of give implementation of that empty method, implementation of that abstract method. So you saw that we had sound in the base class animal, so we actually gave body to that sound method. And that makes sense. When you are in cat, you know what should be the sound of cat. Right. Now there is a point number 5. If your class is extending from an abstract class and if it does not want to provide implementation of its abstract method, then the second solution that class can have is it has to declare itself abstract. So you can see here, if I say I'm not going to override sound, but I still want to compile cat, then cat has to be abstract. This is fine. You know that now cat itself is an abstract class. Now it is not a responsibility of cat to override sound method, but in that case you know that because now cat is abstract, so obviously it cannot be instantiated. But if it is providing the implementation of an abstract method, then it can be a non-abstract class. Right. So here I say public void sound, and then we provide sound of the cat, which system out println obviously this cat sound. Right. So that was the discussion about abstract methods and abstract classes. I strongly recommend you to read these concepts from complete reference book in order to further understand these concepts fully. I end this video here and I will make this code and video available on our LMS. Thank you very much.